Hey everyone, I realize we haven't spent a lot of time on getting things to look good in mobile in the same CSS file, so I wanted to make a video, and I do have videos up there, but they're for mobile first, which is kind of like you make the mobile site look good, and then you add the media query for like all the larger sizes. We're doing the opposite, so we're making a desktop site, and then we're adding mobile CSS to make it look good in mobile. So here's my site. I went to Oyatsupan today because I'm staying in Beaverton, and so I just copied their header for speed's sake. But I just made like a really simple layout with some menu items. Oop, my picture's broken. Anyway, I'm going to, except for the mobile, yeah, maybe I'll figure out this mobile menu thing. But I didn't think about that part. So let's just work on the body of the page first. First, I gotta fix that pumpkin cake. Oh, JPEG. That's why. Pumpkin cake JPEG. Okay. All right, that should be good. Ta-da! All right. So let's go to W3 schools, and we're going to look up media queries. The page that they send you to is this page, and it's basically this little media rule. And what it does is it overrides your styles if certain criteria are met. So we're going to make one that says, if our screen is smaller than a certain size, do some stuff. So I always have to like visualize this, but basically, this is saying minimum width of 480. So if my site is 480 or larger, do this, right? So we want to switch that. The other one is max width. They usually have a query for that. But anyway, I'll just swap it around. So let's grab it. I like to, okay, and then we're going to put it in style. So you always, always, always want it to be the bottom. No matter how many media queries you have, they should always be at the bottom. And think about how, if you have multiple media queries, how they might override each other. Sometimes I see people do like a minimum width of something and max width of something. You don't want to do that. You just want to say, in this case, we're going to say if it's a maximum width of 480, do this. So that means this is like for mobile only. I'm going to make it a little bigger, actually. I'm going to make it 768, which is the portrait size of a mini iPad. So I feel like that's a good size to switch if you're going to only have one media query, so two different screen sizes. And then I always like to just keep this default thing in here that it's usually like change the background color so we can make sure that it's working. So let's do that first. So here's our site, and then there's screen. So we know that if our screen gets smaller than 768, that the media query is kicking in. Okay, so basically all I want to do is swap the direction of my rows and make them columns. And the good news is that Flexbox makes that really easy. So I'll show you how I have it set up. I just put them in article tags because I just thought it would be easier. I just try to stay away from too many divs because I get confused. So the cards, like each menu item has its own article. So here's the beginning of an article and the end of the article. It has two columns. It has a left column, so it has a div class left, and it has a div class right. I should have indented these. Okay, so two columns. Then the article closes, and then we have basically, I've copied and pasted, changed the image, changed the text. That's all I've got for this menu page. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to say, so Flexbox W3, Flexbox, it's called Flex Direction. So here's W3 schools, flex direction property. So it starts as a row. So there's a few things you can do. You can put it in the reverse order. So if I do this on like some of them, like, I don't know. Anyway, it flips the order. So column 1 will become column 2, and column 2 will become column 1. So that's one way to do it. The other way is just to switch from flex direction of row, which is the default, and change it to column. So that means instead of going right left, it's going to switch to up down. And that, in many cases, is all you need to do for mobile. It depends on how complex your design is. But let's just do that to start with. So I'm going to say and I made all of these flex boxes the same name because they're all using same styles. There's nothing unique about them. So all the like kind of general layout stuff is in this 2-column thing. If I was going to like make something special, like maybe this is a featured item, I'd just add another class called featured and kind of like add the extra pizzazz to that. But this way, by calling them all 2-column, I know I have like a basic layout that I can flip. Okay, so we're going to go to CSS. And where we're defining our flex, so in 2-column, clean that up. I'm going to just copy this. And I'm going to remove this because we don't need it at all. And now I'm going to say if the width is 768 or smaller, then do something else. So because this exists up there already, we don't need to say it again here. It's already been declared in the regular style that this should be display flex. We just want to add to that style. So it's using this cascading style sheet thing. So in the media query, I'm going to say change the flex direction to column. And that's going to override the default, which is flex direction of row. So let's hit play. Let's refresh this page. And then I'm hopefully going to see the second column become the second row. So bam, there we go. So now we've got powdered donut with the description, the edamame carre, and we're good to go. So what if it's more complex than this? So what if, let's see, I'm trying to think of a scenario. What if you have like a left hand nav? So let's kind of think about that. So I'll just like add. So in main is going to be a class equals, I don't know, I'll just call it flex layout for lack of anything. And now I'm going to say, I want there to be like, there's this tag called aside that is good for like kind of side panels. So I'm going to give this an aside and say, this is a left hand content area that has more yummies. Okay, I'm going to give this a class. Class equals, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say left because then I haven't specified like 2-column left. So I'll just say left aside. Left main. There we go. It's hard to be creative sometimes. And then I'll call this a section actually because I haven't used a section tag in here. Usually like you want to have sections and then articles within the section. So that works pretty good. So I think I can just keep my menu just floating in the beginning of section. And then I want the section to close right before main. So section. So this is like the right side of my content. And just so we can see it better, I'm going to give that a side. Should we we'll give the section a class of right main, I guess. So left main. Let's give it just a background color. Oops, I don't want to put it there yet. So I'm going to say dot left main. Color of something light. It's too dark. Oops. Something very light. Come on. Oh, there we go. Maybe a little warmer. Okay, anyway, there we go. That's like a weird color. And I need to give it some padding so it doesn't look weird. Padding 60 pixels. Okay, and then we're calling, what did we call the main flex box? Flex layout. Okay, so then we have like dot flex. Oops, I'll just paste it in. Flex layout. It's going to be display flex. And then let's see, this left main, we could give it a width of like 30%. And then the other one is called right main, I hope. Right main, and then we'll give that a width of, not a width, sorry, I keep doing this. A flex of 30% and a flex of 70%. Let's see if I might need padding on that right hand side. Yeah, I do. Okay. Also, I have this whole thing as 80%, so I'll just fix that really quick. Where's my 80%? Okay, so main, I have width of 80%. I'm just going to make it 100%. 100%. And then I'm going to give flex layout right main some padding too of, I'll just do 60 again. All right, so here we go. So we've got like a slightly more complex thing. And what I want to happen is basically this content, I want it to go underneath the menu because that's really what I care about. And this is sort of like a specials area. So now what I want to do is, so we still have, this part it's still flipping, but we want this to go underneath. So we are going to do something similar. We're going to say for the flex layout in mobile, we're going to also do column, but that's going to make the aside first. So let's do column reverse and see if that works. I don't use it much, but here we go. So refresh, and then hopefully, bam. So now the menu comes first, and hopefully the aside is down at the bottom. So that's how you can kind of rearrange content. Also, like, I'd probably make the media query happen, like at least the aside part happen faster because that's really tiny before it flips, you know? So I'll do that. Yeah, it's only 14 minutes. So let's say we want one more media query in here. And we want it to happen at 10:24. And I only want the second one here. So I'm going to change this to 10:24. So basically, maximum. So if it's a minimum width, I have to think about this again. If it's a minimum width of, if it's 10:24 or smaller. Okay, yeah. So we want 10:24 first. So that's this flex layout. So if it's 10:24 or smaller, then do a column reverse on flex layout. And then we don't need this anymore because we've already flipped that. And then when it gets to 768, then change this to column to be a single column. by doing flex direction column. Okay, so let's refresh and see if that works. So 1024. Okay, cool. That goes down to the bottom. So we still have our menu nice and big. And then 768, then we get a single column. So that's just sort of some basic tips. Also, a similar thing happens with the navigation. That hamburger menu uses this. Like, I'll show you where it is. PSU Interactive Media Resources. Hamburger menu. So this hamburger nav it's great code to copy because it's fairly easy to get working. You can just look at the code. So in here, there's a link to the code, and it shows you added fairy lights. No, I don't know why that says add. Oh, it must have just been checked in with other stuff. Sorry. Okay, so there's a bunch of classes that go with it. And then it has its own media query down here. And so it will switch to desktop menu when it is desktop mode, and the hamburger menu when it's in mobile mode. So it's a pretty nice one. Let's go back to the demo for it. Hamburger nav, the action shot. So here it is. You shrink it down, and then you have this pretty nice animated drop down. The only thing that's weird about it is that it has this weird, it kind of shows and hides when you scroll. So real quickly, I'll show you what to take out of the code to make it stop disappearing on you. This desktop menu, see this fade in, fade out? All you have to do to get this to stop being called is to delete line 30, and then you're good. It'll just be there. So that's all you need to do for that. And that is all. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know I'm around except for tomorrow to help out with any of this stuff. All right, thank you. Bye.